Finally! Welcome, Brenda!
Sing.
We are finally going to do Dan with his Fabia VRS for God knows how long that we've been delaying this video because it's been too dirty. So we're going to be doing his Fabia VRS for the first time. So without further ado, here he comes, and he should come around the corner. So let's welcome him. Let's get him on the channel, let's get him in, get him to finally introduce himself. I mean, he is my cameraman, he is my mechanic, you all know him, but Dan, it's about time.
Hello, good afternoon.
We're not delaying it anymore, right?
No.
Instead of working on my cars, instead of being my cameraman, we're actually doing your car.
Yeah, it's here.
And it is clean.
It is very clean.
You ain't got the excuse of dirty anymore.
No, it's very clean. Yeah, I had a good friend of mine, Asa Car Care, big up.
Drop the Insta in the screen below.
Yeah, came and washed it yesterday, and yeah, I gave it a good old polish after, and it's come up actually really well. So,
I mean, the fact that it threatened to rain this morning kind of almost threw us all off, but the weather's all right, and we finally get to do the car. So, Dan, for those of the viewers that don't know, tell them what it is you do, what your car you got, and why you chose to build this.
Right. So, mechanic by trade, also MOT tester, down at Sergeant Hall, and I decided to go for a Skoda Fabia. Reason for that is, back in the day when I was a little wee man.
A wee man? A wee man?
A mate of mine who I used to race with, he actually brought one of these, and he modified it. He could drive before me, and he loved it. And so did I fell in love with it. So a couple of years into driving, I got myself a Fabia, not this one, it was another black one. And
1.4 was it, that one?
No, it was a VRS, so it was the 1.9 TDI PD130.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to get rid of that because I had some insurance issues.
Being young and trying to insure a VRS, I mean,
yeah.
With insurance, as soon as you say things like GTI, VTS, VTR, VRS, things like that, all of a sudden the insurance just goes bing, and they just rob you. They basically bend you over, rob you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that wasn't a great point in my life because obviously I was like, oh no, I really want one, and then I had to get rid of it. So yeah, coming forward a few years to this,
he's even got a black VRS merchant hat as well. Like,
look at that.
Who does that? Who buys the car and goes, oh, I want a VRS hat to go with it?
Yeah, I know. I thought, why not? That's nice.
But I mean, the viewers also asked for Dan to be in the videos a little bit more, which I'm trying to do, but he's also a very good cameraman. He's actually pretty good at it, and he enjoys doing it. So, without further ado, we'll get into his car. Basically, he's going to tell me the specs of it. I already know, because obviously I know the car, I've known him a while, but I'll let him tell you, and then we'll do what we normally do, go around it, nice test, engine bay, drive it, blah blah blah. So, specs.
Specs, right.
Not my specs, specs of the car.
Right, what are we going for first, visual or engine?
So let's do visual first.
Yeah.
So what have you done visually to this car?
Okay, visually. So when I got the car, it had the Octavia 17-inch spiders. they're already on the car. It had the wide mouth front bumper, so usually in this section here you have like a plastic number plate holder. People cut them out and just put the big old honeycomb mesh, which makes it look a bit more beefier. I actually did have to re-secure this and used a whole tube of tiger seal to secure that on, to make sure that wasn't going anywhere.
Good old German engineering skills with tiger seal.
Yeah, the projectors, they were in it already.
Yeah.
So basically, as you go around the car...
What about the Cooper R splitter?
That was on there already.
On there already, was it?
Yeah. I haven't really done anything...
You haven't really done much visual?
No. Visual side of things, you know, as we go around the car, I'll tell you a bit more. But yeah, visual, I haven't really touched it. The only thing that I do need to do is the bodywork, because it's okay in some places, but you know, this grille surround here should be chrome.
Yeah.
Been painted black, but obviously stone chips, you can see it.
But
all.
the whole stone chips will make sense when we go a bit more into the engine work and modifications and things like that. But the only one thing to point out is the fact that it is a black car. Now, anyone that owns a black car will know a black car shows up everything. It doesn't matter. It will show up the slightest of dirt, it will show up all the stone chips, and it will stand out a hell of a lot more on a black car than it will any other car. So 1.9 PD 130,
1.9 TDI PD 130. It's got 228 foot-pounds of torque, standard.
Standard, yeah.
Yeah, even standard, they're nice nippy cars, you know, 228 newton meters, 40 foot-pounds is a really good torque figure.
And then 130 brake horsepower. Now, for those people that don't know PD engines, so you get three different PD.
There's a lot of variations of the PD.
But the most common ones are the PD 105, a PD 130 and a PD 150. Now, yes, they're all good engines, but the PD 130 is known for being the most bulletproof. But what a lot of people do, again, we'll let Dan describe what he's done for this, but a lot of people tend to put a PD 150 turbo and head bolts on the PD 130. But I don't think that's the case with yours though, is it?
Oh no, I have got the PD 150 head bolts.
So basically...
because they are stronger.
That's what it is standard. So you can kind of gather where we're going with this. It isn't a standard car. It's built, not bought. And being a mechanic and being in the trade, you've done it all yourself.
Yep.
Apart from the map which went to the guy in South Africa.
Yep. Big up SR tuned, old Tyrone in South Africa.
Good old Tyrone. That is actually his name as well. We're not taking the mick or anything. His name is actually Tyrone. So tell us what you've done to the engine then.
Right, so when I got the car, it did have a slightly bigger turbo on it, 1756. That was built by Lewis Skiller, which is a very well-known guy on the Skoda pages.
Yep.
So yeah, it had a slightly uprated turbo, decat downpipe, front mounted intercooler with the hard pipes, and EGR delete as well. So reason for doing what I've done is basically it was just before COVID time.
Yep.
These engines don't like high speeds.
No, they don't. They're better off low down, aren't they?
For long durations.
Yeah.
And that causes basically cam lobe wear and the hydraulic buckets.
Right.
I could start to hear that was going, right? You can hear like a clonk through the air filter and you can kind of hear it through the exhaust tone as well. So I thought, right, that ain't good. I've got to replace my camshaft and my hydraulic buckets. Ordered what I needed. And I thought, right, it's COVID. I was furloughed for like 3 weeks, right at the start of COVID. And I thought, no, I can't do this. I'm going to go full send with it. Build it right up, so that resulted in, obviously, to take the cam out you had to take everything apart anyway. So I had the head off, I had it ported, I had the valves recut and I grounded it all in myself in with my garage. This is obviously all pre having my unit as well. So it was a drive the first start of the build was a driveway build.
So it's kind of like a driveway statue, but also a project car through COVID, because let's face it, every car guy had a car project through COVID.
Oh,
we all did. I built my Corsa B red top. You built this. I know another guy that's built his, I think it was an S14 or S13 about 3 or 4 times. You know Wes, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
He built his on his driveway about 3 or 4 times, but he did crash it. Hashtag do a Wes. But we all had one during COVID. So with all the modifications, we're not 100% sure what the brake horsepower is doing.
No, just purely because I haven't literally had time to get it on the dyno, but I do need to get it on the dyno and get some figures out.
But to put it into perspective, you raced one of our mates, Josh, who had a bog standard 135i. So everyone that knows 135i's, they're about 320 brake horsepower from standard. You raced him, and you kind of made him look like a 116, didn't you?
Yeah.
So yes, okay, some of that might be the torque, but it kind of puts it into perspective what kind of an animal this is. So we do need to get a dyno day, and Josh was a little bit, I think he was upset when he got back. He was like, how did that just happen?
Put it this way, he wanted to sell the car. He was so upset.
Yeah. Like he was literally, he came back to me and he was like, I don't know what's just happened, but he's just beat me. And when he says beat me, like he literally handed it to me.
Car lengths.
But that's not the biggest car you've kind of beat though, is it? You've beat other bigger cars, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
So what's the most powerful car that you know of that you've beat?
Off the top of my head, that comes first is probably that M5. No, is it M3 or M5?
Which one? The red one? Oh, that was an M5. So basically
M5.
that was on the way back from a Yanamine meet. We're coming down the M23, I think it was.
Yeah, the M23.
And I was in my Saxo VRS. No, VRS, that's the VRS.
VTS.
I was in my Saxo VTR.
VTR.
And basically, we were, for legal reasons, we were doing 70 mile an hour. I was following him. You'll understand you'll understand in a second or later on in the video. I couldn't see anything in front of me when he put his foot down. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, an M5 comes up behind me. So it's Dan, me, and then this M5 comes up behind me. Bearing in mind I'm 70 mile an hour, I've moved out the way because there's no way I'm beating an M5. There's no way I'm beating this either. But I gave it a good run for its money. Yeah, I did try and keep up, but I just couldn't, and I could not see a thing. But anyway, I moved out the way, and this M5's come right up your ass, didn't he? And then all of a sudden, all I see in front of me is a big plume of black smoke, and this is gone. And this M5's just kind of gone, that ain't standard. Oh no. And just kind of pulled over in the end. He kind of just gave up.
Yeah, he gave up, moved into the left-hand lane. And we were kind of like, you know, overtaking each other, you know, within the speed limit and stuff. But yeah, that was good. That was a good moment, that was.
So, I mean, bearing in mind the M5s are not slow, they're no slouches. Yes, they're a big car. Yes, they're quite heavy, but they're no slouch. You know, being an M performance car as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that owner kind of probably went home and went, I need to sell my M5. If you are watching this video and you did race a black Fabia VRS, unlucky because you got it handed to you, but maybe go and tune your car a little bit more.
Yeah, kind of like to put it into perspective. It's up there with like Golf R's and S3, Audi S3s and stuff like that. So,
right. So what we're going to do now is we've kind of give you a brief rundown of the specs and everything like that. We're going to do what we normally do: start at the front, go to the side, go to the back, do the interior, do the engine, do a sound check, and then we'll go for a drive. So what we'll do is we'll start from the bottom up and we'll go from there. We've already done the front, so we've kind of like just jumped to the side, so I do apologise for that. So Dan, tell me about the side of the car starting from the front.
Right, So wheels, I have the 17-inch Octavia Spiders. Very common wheel to have, you know, in like the Fabia world. Standards are originally 16s, so 17s makes it a bit bigger, feels the arch a bit better. They're wrapped in accelerators. I think they're 651 Sports semi-slicks. Really good tyre, really recommended. Even good in the wet. Highly recommended. Stopping power, we've got the 312mm Octavia front brakes VRS, and pads. We've got some Frodo's DS 2500s. Very expensive pads. They cost me £200 just for the brake pads. But
sorry,
again,
sorry. Frodo, isn't that a Lord of the Rings character?
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Got some Frodos. Hello, Frodo.
Yeah, so I've got literally about £300 worth of just pads on this car. But yeah, you know, the life in them is great. The stopping power is phenomenal, along with the braided front lines, or braided lines all round as well. Yeah, obviously a thing that goes pretty quick. You got to stop well, eh?
I should hope so. Did you say it was lowered?
Yeah, it's lowered on coilovers. I can't remember.
Have you put the Stance Plus ones on yet?
No, the car came with I think they're Pro Sports, like the budget range.
Yeah.
But recently I have acquired some basically brand new BC Racing coilovers.
With the bag still over the spring.
Yeah, with the you know, the little sock around the springs.
Yeah. So moving down from the car, we've also got the wind deflectors.
Yeah, Team Heco wind
very
deflectors.
Common on cars nowadays because they actually it's very effective.
Yeah.
Especially in the rain and when it's windy, you're driving down a motorway, it gets too hot. Just open the window a little bit and you don't get any rain in there. It's not windy. I rate wind deflectors. I do like them, and not everyone does, but I do. Pretty standard downside, pretty much. It's kind of got that sleeper look, but it's also very stealthy at night as well. Blacked out windows.
Yeah,
are they 100% limo tint?
Yeah, 100% limo tint all round.
That's what we would say all round, just the rears.
Yeah, just the
obviously
rears.
Not the front because illegal. With his Instagram name there,
yep.
Which I'll also drop down on the screen below as well. So drop him a follow because he's also building another car, which I still think you should document it.
Yeah, I think I should make a start.
I think you should. Again, back wheels. You've obviously got the same wheels, same tyres, same brakes as well off the Octavia?
These are the standard brakes on the Fabia. I have been toying with the idea of changing them because just purely the fact they just look so small. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wait until, you know, the brakes wear out and possibly upgrade to the bigger size. Now slowly moving round.
Yeah.
To the back. Pretty standard-ish back end. We've got the upgraded, the more modern Skoda badge.
Yep.
Wiper delete, kill all wipers, you know.
Yeah. The extension on the spoiler.
Maxton,
Maxton
spoiler.
Yeah, is that Maxton one?
It is, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say Maxton on it like Maxton normally does it?
On my, I did have a, you know, the Maxton sticker on my centre console, but yeah, you won't see that in the video, so take my word for it.
Yeah. Debadged.
Yeah. D-badge, you know, because it has like Fabia VRS in this area.
I mean, I think it does look much. It suits the car with the stealthiness of the sleeper, stealthy for what's to come.
Yeah.
Exhaust back box, is that standard on these?
That is a tip. Hasn't got a back box, hasn't got a cat, hasn't got a centre silencer. It is 3-inch stainless. Straight from the turbo.
We'll show you a little bit later what it does and what it sounds like, because as far as diesels go, it's probably one of the better sounding diesels that I know of.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, can't really make a diesel sound, you know, very loud or
you can
effective.
You can.
This definitely proves it wrong.
I will also give it to you. You've kind of done it without that whole choo.
Oh, the owl coo is
that he's done it without it. Now, don't get me wrong, hearing it once or twice off a car every now and again is okay, but everyone has got a diesel now. Wants that chew noise, you know, an elm. And
it's Miltech downpipe. That is what it does. I don't know why. You know, if you say buy a downpipe that's made for the car on eBay, put it on, it won't coo. Miltech, put it on, coo every time you change gear.
So in other words, if you want that chew noise, get a Miltech downpipe. If you don't, get something else, basically. You'll hear what it does in a second. So
I got a good friend of mine, John Wood. He builds a lot of insane cars. He actually fabricated it all together for me. Done an amazing job.
He's also the one that is going to be doing something to my Saxo when we eventually go around to putting it in, isn't he?
Yeah, he is indeed.
Still got to speak to him. He's a hard man to get hold of, but busy men are always hard to get hold of. But he is the best of the best around, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, I guess, you know, as I work next door to him, he gets a lot of people coming round.
So basically, with the Saxo, I'll try and film as much as I can without, because I don't know how private he is. But basically, we're going to install it at Dan's work, and then as soon as it's installed, we're taking it from his work. Maybe push it round. It depends if we want to drive it, but I'd probably push it round. Literally, it's just round one building, and we're pretty much at John Wood's work, and hopefully he can map it and get it all in for me. But anyway, back to this car. So
I have got a private plate to go on it that my lovely girlfriend brought me for Christmas. It's DY Dan Yates 54 VRS, so it's got a nice touch to it.
I mean, you've had that for a while though, and it's still on the car.
Yeah, I've had it for Christmas, but I haven't got around to it.
It's been 7 months and it's still not on the car. So hopefully, maybe by Christmas in 3 years, it'll be on the car.
Yeah, no, very soon it will. Trust me.
So we've done the back, we've done the side, we've done the front. So what do you want to do next? Do you want to do the interior, or do you want to do the noise test? I reckon we can start open the boot and do the back of the interior and move around to the front. So should we do that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Right, we'll open the boot. We'll get that. Can you do it from the bottom, or will you have to do it from the inside? Oh, you can do it from here on this one. Right. So, tell everyone. Obviously, it's obvious what you've done, and it's obvious what has been done, but just tell everyone what you've done.
Right, so it's completely stripped out.
Yep.
We've got a straight rear brace, just to help it stiffen them up, going around corners and stuff.
But you've got an upgrade for that as well, haven't you?
I do, yeah. I do have a K brace, so slightly thicker, and obviously it will come down in the centre just to give it a bit more strength and support. Yeah, rear seats completely removed, all the rear seat belts as well. I say I'm in the process of doing it. It's been like this for a number of years now. Gutting all the rear doors, you know, and getting some panels made up.
As you can see, if you come here, come a little bit closer, come closer, right, and you have a look in that door pocket there, look. It's become a little pocket holder for his
my oil, little quick detailer.
So it doesn't splosh all over the car, it's actually make use of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, is taking weight away by adding weight back in.
Only a tiny bit. Because that window regulator, even though it's a manual one, it is quite heavy. So, yeah.
Have you upgraded the fuel pump in this one?
Fuel pump, completely standard.
So, which is quite surprising for the power that we think it's running. It's actually handled it quite well.
Yeah, I mean, diesels anyway, they do operate at very high, like, you know, hundreds of bar of pressure. So, you know, it's just, it can take it. So, no need to go down that road of upgrading that.
Right, so for the eagle eye viewers out there, you probably look through and you can see he's upgraded the seats. So what we'll do is we'll go around to the front. What I'll do is I'll let Dan sit in the car and I'll let Dan talk you through everything that's done in the car. And then we'll do a noise test, and I would say go for a drive, but I don't know if to let Dan take me out in it, because we can't get a cameraman in here really, so I'd probably have to hold the camera by freehand in the passenger seat, I think, because I don't feel I could drive it, but I feel with what they're about to see, I don't think I'd be able to drive it.
No.
I mean, I could try, but I might stall it several times.
Yeah.
But no, maybe we'll see. When we get to it, we'll see. I might try it, I might not. If I can't deal with, tell you what, we'll try it. If I stall it, then I'll just let you drive it. All right.
Yeah.
So
Fine.
we'll shut the boot. We'll go around to the front. You can tell everyone what you got in the front.
Yep.
I'll open the door for you. You know, I'll be nice. I'll just say, you go.
Thank you very much.
Right. So, tell everyone about the inside of the car.
Right. So, start with the little things first. Grill, boost gauge, goes up to 3 bar boost. Doesn't go over 3 bar, but it gets very close to it, so it'll give you a sort of indication of how much boost I'm running. Moving on, steering wheel standard, missing the badge out centre, need to get one of them, and then yeah, cast your eyes. I mean, I don't know if you can get that, cameraman, but I've got a top mounted Cooler Works short shifter, which honestly has completely changed the drive of this car. It was a right pain to fit, not gonna lie, but you know, I got there in the end and all that work's paid off. You know, it's really nice, feels good. I have a 3-pod holder here just under the stereo, which I do need to get some gauges. When you've got a high performance diesel car, the go-to gauge you really ideally need is exhaust temperature, purely because when you're going for it, these diesels do get very, very hot, and we're talking, you know, 700-800 degrees at the turbo, so they do get hot.
Glows red, basically.
Almost, yeah. So that is a must. I do need to get one. I'll just keep putting it off. You know,
just like this video, you
just
kept
like
putting off, right?
just like
Just like this
yeah.
video, you kept putting off.
Yeah. So other gauges, you know, all pressure, all temperature, exhaust gauge, temperature gauge. They'll be the ones I'll be getting in there. So seats, I've got the Corbu Sportline RSRs, I think they're called. Got them before I actually decided to do the engine build to the car. Just add that little touch to it. Got them from the actual Corbu themselves. They had an open day. Got a good deal, and you'll see I've got custom stitching VRS in the seat, which is a nice touch to the car. Yeah, that's basically it on the inside. Where do you want to head into
the bonnet and have a look at the engine?
The engine bay, yeah?
Yeah, go on and pop the bonnet. Let's have a look.
So it may be a little bit dirty, just purely the fact because I didn't get time to get around to cleaning.
Even though he kept moaning, saying the car's too dirty and all this kind of stuff, but look how shiny that is. Look.
Do you know what, I wiped that down when we got to Tuna Fest,
which was about, I think, 3-4 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago now.
Like yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. Which actually is a good sign because it shows that the engine is actually, there's hardly any leaks or spluttering or anything like that, because that is still pretty much sparkling.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the engine. Again, I'm just going to let Dan tell you all about it because it is his car. So
we'll start at the intake. So I've got a AEM dry flow air filter, and that goes onto a 3-inch intake by Dark Side Developments. That goes all the way down to the turbo. We have a 2260, which is quite considerably bigger than the standard KKK Fabia turbo. You know, going onto the exhaust, 3-inch straight through to the back. We've got Creation Motorsports high flow intake manifold. So with the standard manifolds, you've got the air coming in, and then you've got each individual port for each cylinder. this high flow intake manifold is just one open chamber. That, you know, they argue that it's better flow and what have you, but you know, some people have got their opinions. They've gone to these and they thought, no, I don't really like it. Gone back to the standard, but just ported it. Again, we've got hard pipes going to the front mount intercooler,
which is quite a big, hefty intercooler, really.
Yeah, it's quite a big one.
Right, it's quite a big, chunky one. It goes right, it's literally from the top and it goes right way down to the bottom of the bumper as well.
Yeah.
Quite a big one, but it does its job. Trust me, I've been in this car a few times. Like I said, I'm good friends with Dan anyway, and I know him anyway, and I've been in the car loads of times. But it's also done a very common thing that happens with diesels, which is the neck on the oil on the engine.
Yeah.
Cap,
so
isn't it?
It has like an extended neck, so you twist it off, and the oil cap sits about here, just so it sits flush with the engine cover. But obviously, yeah, I've taken that all out.
They're very common for leaking in that area, aren't they?
They are.
Like literally, whenever, like I'm not a big fan of diesels, but whenever I've had a diesel or a friend of mine has bought a diesel, first thing we all do is take that neck off, because it's just so common for leaking.
Yeah. And plus, if you don't run an engine cover like me,
yeah,
it just doesn't look right at all. It just sits so out of place.
But I mean, it's hard for you to run an engine cover. Why do all this work and not show it off?
I mean, I've only got one mount.
Yeah.
One mount for it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But there's no point in doing all this work and not showing it off in my eyes.
No, exactly.
You
so, engine, PD130. We've got ported head, done by John Wood again. Done a good job at that. I've got a Piper 272 high lift cam. We've got the black INA hydraulic lifters, which everyone recommends to put in with the cams, because they're just a lot stronger, a lot more durable. We've got 120% frayed injectors, which is quite a big step up to the standard injectors, because it's based on the spray pattern.
Right.
So with the 120%, that's, I guess, 120% more of a fan spray pattern from the injectors, which obviously gives you more diesel, good airflow ratio, get the power. Done all the other, everything that I built. You know, I've done the PD150 head bolts, all the gaskets that I needed, 4 new glow plugs. I went to everything. Went to town, yeah, new cam belt and everything, whatever, belts and tensioner and.
I mean, so how much would you say it's cost you to build this engine?
Right, including everything.
Yeah.
Engine wise, are we talking about other bits as well?
Just total cost, just the engine build, like to get it to the power where it's at, comfortably, happy, safe. How much would you say you paid for this? Obviously, when the labour cost and all that lot he's done himself, so that doesn't really come into it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I really paid for labour wise was the head being ported. So I would say a rough idea, everything on the engine that I've brought to build it has probably cost somewhere in the region of about £5,500.
Okay.
Maybe pushing towards 6.
Yeah.
But that's soon going to change, because I've got some plans and some parts to fit as well. I've got a dark side oil cooler. Look, it's got a front mount little cooler to fit, but I also have water meth.
You did, which would be quite a big gain on. Well, I wouldn't say big, but it'll help with
slight gain.
Yeah.
But then obviously it helps improves the temperatures, which is a must on these.
Yeah. Have we missed anything?
Strut brace.
Strut brace, obviously.
You know, we've got the boost gauge hose fed through in the correct places through the grommets. But yeah, that's basically. Oh no, I've missed one big thing as well. I've recently purchased the Vibrotechnics engine mounts. which does change the feel of the car, because the Vibrotechnic mounts, the dog bone, the gearbox mount and the engine mount are so stiff. When the car's running, it does vibrate quite a bit.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah,
but hey, it's kind of how you know it's doing its job though. You know, it's holding it, it's solid.
You want everything solid and, you know, stiff.
And to be fair, for like as far as German cars go, and being a build, I can't see many cable ties.
Yeah.
Mainly because most of them are black.
Yeah.
But I've only noticed one that is on the car that is yellow.
Yeah.
And that is no, it's not in there.
Oh yeah.
It's the one that's literally holding the light in.
Yeah, the little
Other than that,
cover.
like for someone that's obviously you're a mechanic, so you can do it all yourself. But you see a build nowadays, people just cable tie this there, cable tie that there, cable tie this there, blah blah blah. But it's not. This is all done properly. You know, and it's taken a lot of time, taken a lot of effort. But it is such a thrill.
Oh yeah.
Such a thrill, isn't it?
Literally every time I get in the car and drive it.
I mean, let's say now, so drop in the comments what you think the power is, and when we finally get a dyno, we'll let you know. So I reckon it's in the ballpark of around about 350 to 400 brake with around about 700 newton-meters of torque. What do you roughly put it at?
I put it in the area of, I'd say about 320 to 350 with a torque figure about 600.
Yeah?
Yeah, 600,
now,
620.
Cameraman, just don't obviously put the camera on yourself. Just tell me what you think it'll make.
I'm probably going to go with, I want to say 345 brake horsepower.
Yeah.
But I want to say it's in the ballpark of about 350 pound-foot.
Okay, so again, in the comments, just let us know what you think it is once we finally get it dynoed, which I think I'll probably organise a dyno day for a few of us.
Yeah, we need to.
We'll get the final figure, and we'll let you all know what it is actually running. But I think it is now time to do a sound check and
pop some popcorn.
go for a drive, I think. So we'll shut the bonnet.
Yeah.
Get the car started, get it warmed up, and do a sound check. I mean, it's not going to be warm enough just yet.
No, yeah, it's been sitting for.
We'll start it up. So, cameraman, if you just quickly go to the back and just listen to him starting it up. I don't know if you can hear me, but we'll stop the video there for a minute, let the car warm up. When we come back, we do the sound check and we'll go for a drive. Now that the car's warmed up, we're going to do a brake test. I'm standing here and you'll see why in a minute. So, Dan, revving up like Ronnie. Changed our minds, so I'm going to drive it first. I've never driven this car before, so I'm just going to drive it around the industrial estate, and then we're going to go swap seats. Dan's going to take me out. So Dan is currently behind the camera, holding it freehand, so it won't be as steady. But
go on,
let's drive the car, and I reckon I'm going to stall it about 3 or 4 times because it's not the easiest car to drive, but let's find out, shall we? Right, traction control's off.
Yeah.
It's in first. Handbrake off. See if I can. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, that clutch is either on or off, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's very high as well.
That has kind of got a quick shift to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you can feel the revs in it when you're kind of going a little bit, but it pulls well. really does pull. Wow, fair play. I mean, I've left a lot of smoke around the back, but I'm not going to boot it properly. I'm just going to take it around the estate just to get a feel of it. But it responds so well.
Yeah. Do you feel the how much throttle did you give it?
I kind of put it all the way on. I mean, you've got a light out.
Yeah.
But we don't worry about that. But I kind of like put it all the way on, and that was in second gear.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is, even when you're flooring it and you let go, there's kind of a delay from where it's still going a little bit.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a rev hang.
Yeah, which obviously takes a bit of getting used to for me because I'm not used to driving this car. But, I mean, the gear shift is actually set up quite nicely. The clutch isn't as hard, as heavy as you said it was. But it's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Right, let's see if I can put it in reverse actually. Right.
That's it, lift the tag up.
Neutral.
Back into first.
No. Right. That's third.
That's the one.
That reverse. But it is very responsive.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the clutch is high. Like, it's either on or off. But it's really responsive. I actually quite like it. I can't wait for you to take me out in it, DC. Because obviously you can drive it better than me. To get a proper feel of it, but it's really responsive. Like, there's no play in the steering, everything's stiff, the power pretty much instant, the torque on it, bloody hell, it does not throw you in the seat. And yeah. I didn't even boot it that much, do you know what I mean? But so far I'm impressed. I don't really like diesel cars, but so far I am impressed. So what we'll do is we'll pull back up, switch seats, switch cameramen, put our seat belts on, then we'll go for a drive, and Dan's going to drive. So just going to literally pull up, switch seats, seat belts on, and Dan's going to take me out. So let's see my reaction. Right, now I'm in the passenger seat. You can see Dan there. So Dan's going to drive it out. This is going to be a bit wobbly because it's by freehand, but let's see what it's like with Dan driving, shall we? So yeah, it is going to be wobbly because it's stiffer suspension, cheap Pro Sports. But let's see my response when when we give it some in a second. It's going to throw me back. The camera might actually launch, but let's give it a go. Right, here we go. Ready? Go. Jesus Christ! Fair play. I mean, that probably left a lot of smoke.
It did. And a bit of smell of tyre.
Oh God! Yeah, that's tyre. I do miss the smell of. I do miss that smell of tyre. Fucking hell. That really goes, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like, it's a bit different when I'm driving the car because I don't give it as much. But when you hand it over to the person that owns the car, who just literally annihilates the hell out of it, you get to feel the whole lot. So yeah, let's see it again, shall we? Let's again, I do apologise for the camera because it is a bit wobbly, but it's all freehand because the gimbal in here doesn't quite fit. But it's so responsive. Yeah. So responsive. Clear my side. Yeah. So responsive, like unreal. Well, there's no clunks or bangs or knocks or anything either, is there?
Right, you ready?
Yeah, go on. He's very good bouncy. Fucking hell. Jeez. Trust me, like, you don't understand the power that this thing's got. Like, even Dan's got a little bit of a grin on his face.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. Every time I drive it, it puts a smile on my face.
I mean, there's a big difference between driving a built car than driving a bought car, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%.
Like, I mean, I prefer a built car. Let me know in the comments if you prefer to buy a car or to build a car, and we'll see. I reckon building a car is more fun. You get more of a personal touch with the vehicle. and you know more about the vehicle. So yeah, I mean, wow, what an absolute machine this thing is. Right, I will get you a clip of this thing doing a flyby with the amount of smoke that this thing leaves, because it really does. Like, I follow him and I cannot see the road in front of me. I literally, like, I think it was 2 nights ago we were coming back from Hastings and he floored it on a dual carriageway. Bearing in mind it's already pitch black, and I literally, I just couldn't, I was just guessing where the road was, really. You know what I mean? Like, literally guessing where the road was.
Yeah.
Again, you'll have to deal with the camera, the poor camera recording here, because it's all freehand. Oh, here we go.
Second gear.
Second gear. I tell you what though, you can really feel them accelerators kicking in, can't you?
Oh yeah.
Like, it grips so well.
Yeah.
For the amount of power that is running through them, those accelerators are really, really good. Like, it grips the road like no tomorrow. You know, like, I might have to get some for my car, I think.
Yeah, you know, I've suggested them to a few mates of mine.
Yeah.
And they thought, oh, okay, I'll give it a go, because they are actually reasonably priced as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, they love them. You know, they're a soft compound. They last quite a while, and also the tread pattern looks great too. So
yeah, they do. I mean, I've got Yokohama 8008s on mine, on my Saxo, and they're good. But I'm pretty sure these accelerators are probably better. Now that I've felt the full force of these accelerators,
yeah.
I think they are so much better. So yeah.
You know, obviously in the wet it does spin up, but it does still give off a good
It still grips, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does still grip.
You know, and cornering in the wet, it's just amazing.
It is an absolute animal, this
You know,
thing,
usually
like.
in the wet, you know, you're going around the corner and you're like, oh, better slow down a little bit here. But no, with this, it just...
It literally just glides round it. It literally grips like no tomorrow. So what we're going to do when we get back, I think we might get him to do one more launch with me outside the car, so we can see how much smoke and all it leaves. And then we'll do an outro, and yeah, like, don't forget, drop us a like and subscribe, because content like this, it makes, the more likes and subscribes I get, the more content that comes out. And you might be able to see Dan's new build once he's done it.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah.
when I start documenting it.
Yeah, when he documents it, you'll be able to see it. So yeah, drop him a follow, or drop his Instagram on the screen. Drop us a like, drop us a subscribe. We'll go and do a little flyby thing, so I can see how much smoke comes out the back while I'm outside the car. And yeah, we'll do an outro then, and yeah, we're just about to get out of the car basically. So we'll see, the next shot you'll see is me outside the car, flooring, and Dan flooring it. The sound of that and the smoke that comes out of it is incredible. But yeah, such a different animal. You've got to be in it to understand what it kind of does. See if he floors it coming back. Yeah, so next shot we'll do an outtake, and yeah, such an animal. Alright, Dan, really enjoyed it. Absolute animal. We'll do the dyno days, we'll get the final figures a bit. Cheers for coming on. I mean, you are always out with me anyway. Alright, cheers for watching. That was another episode on Revved Up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.